Now, I don't know if you feel the same way, if you're a Zoomer here, but I feel like honestly, the future we were promised is no longer a thing. This no longer exists. And the entire time we went through school as a Gen Zer, do you feel like the world we were trained to do, the old Dewey Decimal System, get through class, work on all these projects, do all these things, and that's just no longer how the world works. It doesn't work like that anymore. This whole entire environment is different, We were promised, go to school, go to college, get a degree, and you're going to be okay. You're going to get into a job. Maybe you'll work in some sort of office or something like that, doing the old 9 to 5, and it'll be all right for you. But I just feel like this isn't the case. You can't get by with the old 9 to 5 anymore, dude. I feel like the place we're in today is even tougher than it used to be. And honestly, it wasn't too great even when we were kids. And I think this has to do with the absolute unacceptable corporate greedism occurring in today's society. Yeah, I think that's going to be the absolute collapse of the Western society. It's got to be corporate greed. Now, you know what happened in 2020. Unfortunately, that was a bad time. But I think some people took it as a good time and an opportunity to turn the switches on for them, feeding the money right into their pockets and out of ours. And now this whole entire thing is complicated on how it works. It's not really very, it's kind of difficult to explain. And honestly, I just don't have the knowledge to even, explain how all this works. But I do have some firsthand experience, like, buying a slice of pizza that's $5 to $6 and having to press a 25% or even to 20% tip button on there. And it's just something that I'd never had to do before. Or even going to McDonald's, no longer having the dollar McChicken. The McDouble is now in the 3s, maybe the 4s. The Big Mac's like 7 something now, dude. I mean, if you want the meal. Absolutely crazy, dude. These examples are just examples of what boomers would classify as inflation. But unfortunately, I think that's not the case. I think, while we did get into a little bit of a troubled situation in the economy here in 2020, and honestly still to this day, we had to print some money, right? You understand what's going on. I'm not going to say it because I think YouTube is not on my side when I say shit like that. But basically, the economy, yeah, it struggled for a little bit. And inflation went up, and it was transitionary inflation. Transitory inflation. Is that the word, bro? Yeah. Basically, this inflation is supposed to be temporary as we get out of this situation. But I think a lot of companies and a lot of people took this opportunity to go ahead and absolutely just fuck the entire younger generation and fuck everyone over, dude. They don't even look at us as humans anymore. We don't have any power when it comes to, making decisions for the overall general well-being of our society. We're here purely to just consume and be consumers. And that's kind of the only reason I feel like I even, partake in society or partake in the world. It's crazy. I feel like in my inner circle and my friends and everything, I'm able to have a general good time, and it's great, and all things are great like that. But do you feel like you even have some sort of purpose here on this planet? I understand you guys probably want to go out there and make something change or make something for yourself and maybe, have a bunch of cool things. I don't know what you want out of life, but I feel like the needle has definitely turned towards you just need to consume. That's your kind of purpose. And it's just like we basically are just going to work every day, waking up, doing the same old repeat routine, the same old everything every day kind of routine, going to work, driving your car maybe in isolation and working yourself to your regular 9 to 5 in isolation. Someone like me working completely from home in isolation. And then you go home, you commute through a bunch of traffic, and you just get home exhausted. Maybe you have a nice wife or kids to come home to, but honestly, with the incel crisis of the Gen Z, and the dating market being absolutely destroyed in 2024, I can see a lot of people coming home to just no one. And what do? You just do that again the next day? It's like, what's the point? It's crazy because I think a lot of people are withdrawing from life and they just want to be distracted, We're in this entire distraction era of media constantly flowing through our brains. This weird internet situation that we've somehow built over the last 30 years has basically formed this engine of distraction to basically keep us away from our real lives. And And it's just unfortunate because you go through your life basically not even living it. And that's just so sad to even say out loud if you even hear me what I'm saying. Basically our whole entire purpose is just to stay distracted and consume, whether it be online media, online content, getting served ads all the time, or even just buying things to feel good, buying things on Amazon, having things delivered to you, or even eating food all the time, just constantly consuming and buying and throwing things away, dude. It's a weird, screwed up society, and I understand that's just kind of how capitalism should necessarily work, but I also have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to that economy thing. It's just, yeah. And with this crazy overconsumption of everything, there's just corporate greedism slapped right on top of it to generate even more profits. With all this crazy consumption we're doing, buying a bunch of food and just staying distracted on our phones and buying more and more things. Things are costing more and more money, basically generating more and more profits for companies, which goes into more and more boomers' pockets as they retire on a boat in Miami out in the ocean. I don't know, whatever you want to do as a boomer, And it's just unfortunate because like stripping the money from the young people and, taking it for yourself with no, guidance towards the young generation. The whole entire young generation is just getting exploited for their attention and whatever money they're making. It's not a good recipe for basically operating a functional society. As I mentioned earlier, there's a rise of incels. We're in an incel crisis right now. And if you don't know what that means, it's basically someone that wants to, get freaking, basically someone that wants to boink. Basically someone wants to boink. Someone wants to have a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, with this crazy dating market that we're in, with girls just seeking out quick attention from guys and basically, using their bodies to profit on all these different apps where you can sell it. Guys are so used to seeing this, honestly, the stuff that I can't say, like the corn and all that and stuff like that. Like, for real, it's like, I don't know how this relates back to corporate greedism, but, basically it's difficult to get a girlfriend nowadays. And seriously, with the rise of online people and people just being stuck online, the chronically online things, I live a life as a 25-year-old Zoomer constantly online, and it's not a good way to live. I mean, yeah, it makes my entire living. I can work completely remote on my laptop, which is kind of cool. But dude, I'm telling you right now, watching YouTube and then working and then watching YouTube and then going to bed and then waking up and doing it the same day, it feels like I'm actually in this weird sort of like jail cell where it's like some sort of experiment. Like, I actually have no talking to anyone. And so I literally had to do this one action called geomaxing, where you basically just relocate to a new area to improve your social odds. A lot of people like to do that because they're, looking for some sort of love or some sort of relationship. A lot of people do the geomaxing strategy to Southeast Asia, maybe Thailand, something like that, because you can land a relationship there a little easier. And I'm not experienced in that. I just wanted to share that piece of information with you. But that's why I chose to move to New York City, honestly, because if I'm going to work remote in any location, I want it to at least be a place where I could, go stand outside and have conversations with random strangers about, I don't know, you're in my way or something like that. So honestly, that's where I kind of get my social interaction as a Gen Z Zoomer. But, I only feel bad for those who work fully remote and are just stuck at home, and it's just unfortunate. And all of these problems that I'm listing right now, it's just tough because I feel like I'm just absolutely powerless and have no idea on how to actually tackle them other than to maybe address them on an online, video here. It's like, what am I going to do? Go to the freaking senator's office and start voting? Like, I feel like that doesn't even matter either, dude. There's people that just go ahead and, lobby against whatever they want and get it taken away, dude. It's just unfortunate because there's so many things I want to see and change in the world, but I feel like I have no voice and I have no power. And, as I go on further and further into my life, I feel like a lot of Zoomers, just straight up don't care, bro. People just give up. They just want to keep distracting themselves because it's too freaking tough. And I get it, man. You know, it's a tough world out there, and I don't even know where to begin with all this. So I guess that's why it's titled corporate greed. But just think about how, you know, upping the price of everything that you actually need to live, how powerless you must feel if you have to go ahead and pay for those things anyway. Someone like me who's just renting an apartment, and I understand, I told you I was in New York City. I know it's expensive here, but like even everywhere else, rent is just going up, and like the whole entire, like, everything is going up straight up, dude. Like it's not like one thing's going up and a couple things are going down. It's literally everything increasing across the board. You know, that's CPI, inflation. And the problem is, like, it's not even just inflation itself. It's not just some sort of, you know, magical, oh, here we have some extra money in our circulation. We need to, you know, we need to cut back on the rates and reduce the overall volume of money flowing into the economy so we could cut back on inflation, basically keep it down to that 3% or 2% number they try to say. But no, it's not any of that. It has nothing to do with economy. It has everything to do with, oh, they're distracted. Basically, they're going to go ahead and go for these things anyway. And yes, it is a great excuse to go ahead and turn up the money-making dollars, you know, raise the price and blame it on inflation, right? They're not going to notice. Dude, honestly, it sucks because we are noticing, but I feel like we can't do anything about it. And it sucks because admitting that I can't do anything about it, they know that. They know that we can't do anything about it. So they just leave it up. They leave the prices up. They're not even going to like change the price because they can keep it up. And that's the unfortunate part for like someone who's just a Gen Z guy, you know, a young kid like me. What am I going to do? Some of these things I have to buy, but honestly, I feel like I've been spending less and less money on less and less things, just trying to get by in my regular life. Like, I made this last video, just like some fun vlog thing, and I told you I got all my furniture on the street, bro. Like, I'm kind of not even lying about that. Like, I actually just have to like secondhand and like buy everything like thrifted straight up, just because like how the hell am I gonna afford like a $3,000 couch? Or it's not like I have to buy one of those, but like, bro, furnishing an apartment ain't cheap. I'm not going to lie. So I just feel like, you know, for someone who wants to participate in the old American dream, you know, like eventually have a house and like, you know, live a regular life like we were promised we were going to have, I feel like I have to go the extra mile, even as someone who works in a pretty lucrative industry, like the tech industry, bro. And I'm serious, like, just trying to save as much as I can. I still feel like I'm not going to be able to get a house on the, you know, the schedule that I want to get a house. And like, you know, I want to raise kids. I want to go out there and actually do all the things that, like, you know, I always thought I was going to do, but I've realized nowadays it's a lot harder than it's going to be. It's just unfortunate. I feel so bad for my friends too, who are in a position that's even tougher. You know, they're the ones that are trying so hard to get jobs too. And, you know, honestly, just an unfortunate backwards ass situation that stems from the corporate greed, I feel like. So what are we going to do with all this? Well, I don't know, man. It's up to you to decide. I mean, I really don't know, dude. I really don't know. So if you don't know either, you could probably subscribe if you want. Reach more people, maybe touch some more ideas across more people. That sounds kind of weird. No, dude, for real, I just want to reach out and see what's going on with my fellow people out there, you know what I mean? Just keep it real like that. It's really about it. I just want to see what's going on, and maybe you feel the same way. It's crazy, dude. It's really crazy out there. All right, I guess I'll save the rest of my thoughts for another video. Take it easy. Bye.